What's up guys, this is Shantan and today we are in Batu Kawan, and today's objective is to get an update on all the latest things that's happening around here. Of course today we have Michael, so he's my source of information. Anyway, we are now in Utropolis, the very first completed phase right next to UOW University. Okay, so there is a mixture of commercial and residentials here. Looking at it right now, car parks are kind of full. Now it's 9 o'clock and we can see the latest block that is under construction right now. Breakfast time, but also go and see some business activities. Most importantly is like to dictate the population, the crowd, business activities and the rental rates. Apparently we are in one of the anchor tenants for the entire block. They call it the old white coffee house. This is not a plug-in anyway. In the restaurant now, it's kind of packed for a Monday morning. This is one of the very first projects to be completed in Batu Kawan itself, leveraging on the student population. The unit sizes here were smaller back then, so it's around 700 to 800 square feet dual key setting. And now per room rate, averagely, right, in accordance with Michael, averagely per room in Batu Kawan itself is going about 700 to 900. 700 to 800 usually is managed by the owner themselves, but now there are a lot of home management. Don't know whether it's called like tenancy system. It just means that a group of investors taking up a lot of units from owners who don't want to manage themselves. They are renting them out on behalf, then you get to share profit or whatsoever lah. So it's about 800 to 900 per room for that kind of setting. Technically it's the same room, just a different management. And to think about the price that the initial owners got, it's very promising in terms of Penang comparison. So on island you will never get this kind of rates, but Batu Kawan here, it's still very limited, although in first glance everything seems very overwhelming. So many people meh, you got so many apartment, got people stay meh, apparently got. Okay, and this is James Fu. So for a retail lot here on ground floor facing the main road, it's going for 6,500. For the one facing the back, then because you don't have the frontage, then retail don't have frontage, most likely it's going to be for supporting services or back of house kind of thing. So it's going to be less, 2,000. Okay, for the back row is 2,000. For the front row is around 6,500. And we can see a lot of construction going on. That's Columbia Hospital already. Everything is coming up very fast compared to the last time when we were here, right? And now we are in BKIP, Batu Kawan Industrial Park. And this is the connection between the 1 and 2 of BKIP. And you can still see a lot of upcoming developments taking place here. Technically, this is going to be the main contributor of Malaysia's GDP because this is supposed to be the Silicon Valley of Southeast Asia. And if you look at it, right, everyone keeps saying this location since the last time we come here, nobody is gonna come to Batu Kawan lah. This is the local Penang mindset where this is worse than mainland in their priority list, right? This is definitely worse than mainland, one step lower, because Batu Kawan has always been an area that nobody origins from. No one actually comes from Batu Kawan. So it's a brand new area, and during the talk that we had yesterday in EcoWorld's sales gallery, right, a lot of the audience that came originated from KL. So when you have a 2 to 3 years kind of experience as an engineer, everyone here is proposing a very high pay. So a 3-year engineer here can get 5,000, 6,000, and guess where are all of these people renting? So in total, if you look into the data points, looking at all the factories, this is actually a material that I got from EcoWorld yesterday lah. Very cool because it's a compilation of like 48 to 50 different brands across this BKIP itself, ranging from Western Digital, Lam Research, Inari, DHL, Logic Express, Towam, Ultra Keen Technology. In total, there will be 120,000 proposed job opportunities in this area itself. And the thing is, it's still expanding. This is only BKIP 1 extending to 2. The Prime Minister also just launched BKIP 3, right? So it's going to be a very, very interesting change in landscape of real estate. Like when we look into the amount of housing which we are going to check out later, right? The amount of blocks that is being completed right now, is there going to be sufficient housing to cater to all these people's needs, or the other way around, right? So that's very interesting. And you can look into the traffic right now. Non-stop cars, actually. Non-stop, like trucks and all. Woo. But luckily it's hot day. If raining, right? Luckily it's hot day today. Now we are at the part BKIP 2 that is closer to the sea. Well, literally we are next to the sea already. And what we can see here is VAT Sustio Red Tech 5. So I thought that was the name of the company. Apparently this is their 5th factory in this area. And right in front we can see AMD, we can see the SHIP campus. We can see a lot of tertiary education here as well. So besides UOW, you will have one campus here, and VLux also have their own universities here. So now I think the trend is, in order to build up talents, relevant companies are having their own education facilities to sustain the company. So that is actually very, very cool. And within this part, then you will see a lot more construction in progress. So everybody are just expanding their factories, right? For purpose-built buildings, they are usually way faster. So a factory like that, it takes around 18 months to 24 months Gao team, because they have this sense of urgency, especially the format of ownership here. Most of the factories here are in a 60 years lease. It means that they're going to be here until 2080. And that is very, very exciting. So you look into the car parks, actually not enough car parks one. And something also take note is you look into the entire typology in terms of master plan. Again, that's the benefit of having a place that is absolutely empty in canvas. You will have ultimate freedom in drawing out and planning things all together. They use the main highway that is connecting to Bayan Lepas as the divider between the residential and the industrial. So there will be a clear difference in terms of traffic, in terms of control later on. On one side you will see all the factory, on the other side you will see all the high-rise, all the residential project. The second thing to observe is the sidewalk and the level of infrastructure within this industrial park. This arguably is better than residential projects in Island itself. Well, the restriction of Penang Island is not enough land and the age of building. So last time, infrastructure not as important, roads were narrower, drains were exposed, sidewalk for what? But now here is actually very, very different. So you can see a lot of sidewalk. The size of the road are way bigger to cater to all the monster trucks that's traveling around. Then you will have all the cablings. All the pylons are situated, centralized. Pylons and TMB substations, right, all centralized together in order to power the entire area. So it's all planned out. And looking at the trend, it's all like mostly logistics, microchips, technology, chemical, high-tech stuff lah, technically. So another stigma to address for this one is that we always think that factory lots, right, it's always those that produces a lot of smoke, that is very bad for air quality, so don't stay near them. Actually, not very relevant here. This is going to be one of the most luxurious industrial lot because it's directly next to the sea. So you got seafront factory, which is kind of funny also. So that's a profile of the industry lots here. Amazing, like, in terms of progress, right? Like if we just look back at the previous episode that we do, this is awesome. Within every township, right, there's a very important component that everybody will still think of the cool stuff that will make money. For example, the commercial areas, the industrial areas, the cool residential areas, right? There will be compliance elements like affordable housing, community building elements like schools, local market. And within Batu Kawan master plan itself, last time it was only one block of Surya, so now the new affordable setting is coming up. And last time also, like what we can see from the back, that's Anggun. And next to Anggun, they have proposed this humongous linear park. The scale is incredible. Who would ever build a linear park that is so big? And it's a very clear demarcation between what is open market, what is affordable housing. And with this whole stretch, is all going to be the compliance housing elements next to the linear park. Anything beyond the linear park, closer to the design village, right, all are going to be the luxury ones. Very cool. A successful township always needs to have a balance between the luxury market, upper market, middle market. Then you need to have some of affordables to really make sure a community can thrive. So you can see this is the site. That was existing one. And you can see a lot of cars are parking at the roadside already. These are all canvas for affordable housing. Whew. Then within the same street itself, this will be the location of the proposed school. Where you can see that is supposed to be the school logo and the entrance statement for the school already. And you can see there are some micro piles being done already. And this seems to be the main characteristic or the main frustrations of Malaysians towards our government, is when all the action for show only. In accordance to the people around here, there's been an opening ceremony for several times already, but until now it's still like that. But if you think about it, as long as the land is allocated to be a school, maybe they are still lacking in terms of funding, maybe it's the sustainability of a population, maybe it's not sufficient just yet, I don't know. But as long as it's there, so if this, just imagine if Batu Kawan has a school running right now, a local Chinese school or a secondary school, it's going to change the whole landscape altogether. From this side looking outwards, there will be a plot of land that has been cleared that was meant to be the medical hub, but then they have shifted into technology park. On the far end, next to the cemetery, there's an allocation of 200 acres. 200 acres as a medical hub. Well, that sounds exciting on paper. Don't know yet. Really don't know yet. But if you look into the progress of things across the coastal, I think it's still there. So the debate is then, you got so much land. What if everything is developed? Do you think that it will be an oversupply of houses? Because you're looking into the population right now, can sustain me? So I kind of had a conversation with the locals around here. A few things like as a developer, if I were to launch a brand new housing project, there will be studies to be done. So it needs to have a certain number of population before I'm confident enough to launch a brand new project. So there will be a feasibility study to be done by relevant developers, especially private ones. They won't just buta build. But what's very interesting, in this master plan itself, not everything is for sale. If you look into, like for example, technology park, it's for their own use, right? They are most likely going to build things for their own. Medical hub is to provide services. It's just like the entire PKIP. The only thing that they are supplying into this township itself would be demand of housing. So as an investor myself, if I'm looking at this, I'm super thrilled. Now in terms of demand and supply, we have seen Sinaran that just handed over, so I think the unit is still hot to a certain extent. Rental rates asking is around 2006. When the owners got the unit, their money installment, if it's 35 years, is around 2001. This seems rather normal for a person coming from KL, but in comparison to the entire investment landscape in Penang Island itself, you will never ever get such a return. Although it might look scary from an external point of view because everybody is just hidden within the factory right now, but I'm just very envious of the level of job opportunities here. What's lacking right now here, in my humble opinion, is corporate offices. It's a very different scenario compared to what we have in KL, where we just have office buildings in abundance. But here you have all the factories, all the commercial lots, all the park, medical hub, all their words were all very different. But if I want to have a proper corporate office from a branding standpoint to host people, right, there seems to be a shortage of this. So in accordance to Michael, there's a brand new corporate office to be launched. I don't know whether I can say this, but whatever lah. There's going to be a brand new corporate office to be launched next to that building right there. It's going to be pretty exciting, but I'm just not too familiar with the format of it. Is it going to be a stratified one, or is it going to be a on-block kind of setting? Let me go find out more. Again, this is a very different thing. Like in KL, we have so many townships and we are spoiled, in fact. Like everywhere is a township, but in Penang, satu sahaja. So another very essential part of the community building elements of a master plan includes a wet market. Okay, so PDC, which is Penang Design Council, I think so lah. I think they call it PDC. They have already allocated 7 acres to be used as a wet market. And next to that, now we are actually situated next to the location of prayers. So they have allocated one for mosque. Then you also include places to be used as the cemetery. So on the hilltop, so if you can see right now at the far end, right, that will be the Chinese cemetery. And whatever we see right in front right now, here you cannot see, because from a drone shot you can see all spaces for cemeteries, for prayers, for market, schools, everything lah, has been properly allocated. And the only time where people will understand the importance of town planning is when your house is next to a STP or next to a substation that are built afterwards. So now when you buy your house, right, you already know where is what. So when you make buying decisions, right, it's very, very informed. From the market passing through the stadium, we are now in one of the inner roads of the location. Not too long ago, our Prime Minister has came here to launch BKIP 3, Batu Kawan Industrial Park 3. So that really just indicates the demand for industrial activities around this region itself. This is such a scene to look at, right? You look into the amount of earth trucks traveling through the site. There is just easily 30 to 40 trucks all together at site, and it's crazy amazing. So it just shows the urgency of how fast they want this to be completed. And it's always good for the locals here because it really generates a lot of job opportunities, boosting up the entire income level of the people around this location. Then you will see things start rolling lah. Also, they kind of mentioned that this is going to be connected somewhat to the WCE highway, the highway that connects from Taiping all the way to Banting one. So it's going to be within the same route itself. Something to point out, right? When you look into the drone shot from afar, in comparison when we were standing right in front of IKEA or Veria commercial center, you are just surrounded by mountains of residents, right? Here 1000 unit, there 700 unit, all unit, right? All high rises. It's a bit scary. But when you look from afar, that's the only high rises around proximity. And with all these brand new developments all coming up, right, job opportunities are just falling into place. It's a perspective of how density look like when we are within versus when we are far. So it's a different side of perspective, just to take note on that. And now we are in Veria Commercial Center, and this is one of those very first stratified shop offices. And the main difference is somewhat like the stratified landed properties where you have common areas. You will need to have a barricade within the boundary line, so every time when you come in, technically there will be a boom gate. But now nothing is in operation, and there's something very, very unique about this. Because of this new concept, right, for the past maybe like 7 years, this has been empty for so long. So now you can start to see like kindergartens coming in, daycares coming in, restaurants, ID companies, real estate companies, a hotel, upper house hotel where I always stay when I'm around the corner. And generally there's a little bit more shops around the centerpiece where you have a giant roof across. So that's supposedly to be the main street when you have bazaars or night events during the weekends lah. And now we are right in front of the exhibition sentence entrance, and upstairs you will have all your car park allocated. This is going to be for dinners. But after 7 years, you think that a lot of properties are still left empty. On a normal circumstance, we will come across a lot of auction properties or owners desperately trying to let go, right? Here, tak ada one. Like, it has been empty for so long. Everybody has been holding all to their property and still doing their part in paying on the maintenance. You look into the landscape treatments, guardhouse, roof membrane maintenance, everything's still very, very well done. That shows one thing: the holding power of the locals who initially bought this commercial lot, right? Or very rich lah. Pocket very, very deep. Orang Penang memang kaya lah. So now we are in the center part where it's supposed to be the signature street for everybody. Here you can see a lot of new cafes already. Still alang-alang, right? So you have some hair stylist, gym, personal trainer kind of space. Face-to-face noodle shop. You will have consultation offices, roofing companies, pub. It's still like, I think 10 to 15% occupied only for now. What's the main difference then? Because of its stratified manner, right? It's not as favorable compared to the conventional individual title type of shop office. So as a result, the shop front right in front of Eco Horizon side is doing way better. So there is 100% occupied, where you will have zoos, you will have all the franchise foods, clinics, daycares, everything you need lah. So all that to support the existing residents from that side. So here you still have a lot of space technically, but still need time lah. Anyway, now we are walking towards the newly completed Sinaran. So we are now in between Utropolis and Sinaran. So the road in the center has been opened and the color seems rather unique lah. So it really stands out from the rest, and it's right in front of Veria itself. As we covered last time, this is the row of commercial lots right in front of the residential, so in complementary with the commercial lots in front lah. And the road system here will be a U-turn format. So there will be one internal road for U-turning, so you don't have to really go outside and turn in the future. But so far it's still empty. There's one office for renovation company already. But the roads here are wide. So internally you will have a 2-lane by 2-lane internal road. On this side you still have developments going on, but this is Sinaran already. They call it the Sinaran Avenue lah. And with this direction, I'm actually going through this new road directly into Design Village just to check out the evening crowds and all. And right opposite, this will be their brand new project, Savannah. So coming in from the road, this will be the entrance into Sinaran Avenue. And the entrance for the residents will be via the guardhouse here. So if these are going to be superb in business, right, it's going to be a concern, but it's a prosperity concern. So within a short walk of 7 minutes, we are now at Design Village already. And right in front, that would be the almost completing Anggun residence. So we also reviewed that before, we also covered that before, and now you can hear what used to be a concern back then, which is the construction noise that takes place for the later phase that comes up after the completion of your residence. So imagine if you're just living in, right? You think that you can work from home, then dong, dong. Yeah. And we are now in Design Village, where it's a semi-outdoor kind of space that involves retail, somewhat like that big box concept from Australia. Few things that we are looking right now, because it's a Monday, therefore the crowd is not going to be like superb, but surprisingly there's relatively a lot of people walking around. A lot of buses outside for school trips. The second thing we will look at will be the maintenance of the landscape, and looking at it, it's awesome. Everything is maintained really well, and I guess it's because of the developers still having future launches, so this is a very important statement to prove that they are relevant. Then also the very important observation is to look into the occupancy rate. Like so far, after walking around, right, there's only like one shop that is empty. The rest is all filled up. So I don't know whether the developer actually, or the owner actually gave a lot of discounts during MCO or whatsoever, because previously during MCO there still was some empty units, but now it's all packed. And for a Monday crowd, right, surprisingly, like, it's pretty good. And this will have a direct connectivity to Anggun residents next door. And if you are staying in Sinaran or Swasana, you are also very close to UOW and things like that, so it's actually very convenient. The entire township is still rather pedestrian friendly, just that there's no direct shaded linkages. Maybe that can be in the future, where you have an elevated bridge that can connect everything together. Maybe that's the future. Well, got a few empty ones here within the food street itself. But this is a rather hidden corner altogether. Food court is upstairs. I think it's also going to be empty. And this is a very small percentage compared to the rest, really. Like all the boutiques, all the fashion outlet stores, pharmacies, cafes, all doing not bad. Well, I think that's about it for this visit as an update to Batu Kawan as a township. We can see things are going in accordance to plan. There are some changes. We kind of resolved the issue of like over density. If you look from afar, then it's rather empty. The entire Simpang Empat, the entire area surrounding it is all empty. Rather heavy on industrial. The industrial portion of things is doing very well. PKIP 1, 2 and 3, excellent. And that's only going to create more job opportunities for this area. And based on the people that we met yesterday on the event, a lot of non-Penangites are actually moving into this location itself. So that's very surprising. In terms of rental, then currently it's very healthy. Congratulations to those who have bought the first phase. All Verju, Sinaran, Utropolis. I think Anggun is going to happen the same. Even the first phase of landed properties for Eco Horizon, those properties are having positive cash flow if they were to rent out. Because if you look into the factories, when there will be the control, there will be the managers, the senior managers, right? They will want to have different level of living standards. So some want to stay high rise, some want to stay landed, so their budget will be higher. That's very interesting. The only thing that I felt was missing is the education portion of things. More of the primary and secondary school kind of concept. If those are in, for example, if the Chinese schools are in, private schools are in, whoa, this entire location is going to be so different. And it's just very exciting, because if you look into the canvas, right, there's still so much things to document. So as always, shout out to Michael. He is the one that brought me around today, giving me all the updates, and personally he's within the front line. He is renting out, dealing with tenants, dealing with owners, selling and things like that. So it's always good to have him. If you need any more info at all, just contact him. I'll just put his Instagram down below. Go reach out to him. And I guess that's all for today. It's been a very hot day. Not sponsored. How I wish. Not sponsored. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.